What if I told you that the reason that you're struggling with the same problems over and over again, it's because you're not even looking in the right lifetime? I know that sounds crazy, but stick with me for the next few minutes, and I'm going to show you how to figure out if your current problems are actually past life trauma and show you how you can do something about that starting today. Let's start off with the magical number 5. 5 signs that show that your current struggles might be a past life issue. Okay, number 1, unexplainable fears and phobias, particularly if they're unexplained. If you have some fear of heights, fear of elevators, fear of public speaking, those fears often are very much related to a death experience in your past life. I remember watching one of those shows about people that were dealing with their fears and they were helping people work through it. There was one woman who was afraid of having heavy things in her apartment. She lived on the second floor and she would not put anything in her refrigerator and she wouldn't buy very many groceries. She just did not want to have a heavy apartment. That's fascinating and weird, isn't it? But it wouldn't be so weird if she had a past life where she was in a building that collapsed. And then maybe it collapsed because it was too heavy and things fell down. So she's carrying around with her that fear of potential death if she finds herself in that same situation. So if you're dealing with fears, I mean, we'd often like to talk about like fears of, high places. Well, that's pretty obvious. But like public speaking, right? Or fear of being judged. Did you have a past life where maybe you were sentenced and killed for some sort of crime? So therefore, you're really afraid of judgment. Big one, big one. Lots of different ways to work through your fears. I will tell you, one way is to walk right into them. Now, I realize that doesn't sound like very much fun. If you have a fear that's paralyzing you, you don't want to have to go and do that fear. So, I'm going to talk about another way that you can heal this without having to expose yourself to it. That will be later in the video. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2, also a really big one, recurring patterns. You keep on finding yourself in the same situation over and over again. The people change, the situation changes, and yet there you are again. You're in another job where the boss just criticizes you all the time. You're in another relationship where the person is overly jealous about everything that you're doing. It doesn't seem to matter what you do. You keep on finding yourself in the same situation over and over again, and you want to get out of it. I will say I also do coaching on just this particular stuff to help you unpack and understand what your life lessons are. But I'm going to talk about another approach that you can do on your own later in this video. Number 3, and this is a favorite of mine, which is strong emotional reactions that seem a little out of place. This happens to me, right? That I'm in this relationship dynamic. There's some sort of conflict that happens. There's something that my brother does to piss me off. And my reaction ends up being like really big. Like, why am I this angry about it? This doesn't make a lot of sense. Why I'm reacting this strongly. Or another example, somebody who is overly jealous when it doesn't really make sense because their partner is trustworthy. When you have these really strong emotional reactions, it's because part of you remembers something that happened in the past that you're still holding on to and afraid of that is going to happen again. Number 4, also a big one. It's if you have medical or physical issues that particularly don't have any specific cause. Like you'll hear about people that have a severe pain in their arm, right? Or their shoulder or something. And you find out in a past life that perhaps they were shot there and they're still carrying that wound. Again, as I said in sign number 1, these are often death related. So if you were killed in a particularly traumatic way or died in a particularly traumatic, painful way, your body might still be carrying whatever that death experience is because you didn't have time to process through it. And so it's showing up as pain, or even like birthmarks or moles or other sorts of unusual aspects of your body that might be indicating that you had some sort of happening in a past life that you have not moved on from. And finally, number 5, feeling stuck. If you are feeling stuck, no matter that you keep on trying and working and doing and you don't seem to get anywhere, this is also a big sign that there's some past life story happening that you need to understand a little bit better in order to help you kind of untangle yourself from those belief systems, those thoughts, those patterns, so that you can move forward into the direction that you really want to be going in. So we've gone over the 5. But why? Why must this happen? We're all very focused on our physical body as if this is our end all and be all. But actually, our body is like out here. The physical part is just kind of like the center part of it, right? It's just that the slower matter, but our full energetic body is much larger. This energy body actually provides the template and blueprint for the physical body, right? So you actually find through life over life, you have similar characteristics from previous lives because you're carrying that template with you. Well, and that template is going to carry not only aspects of your physical body from a past life, perhaps, but also any energetic trauma. Because what happens across the board in life, something happens to you in life. You have energy that comes in and you have energy that goes out. It's that you want to make sure that it's kind of flowing through you. The idea is that energy can get trapped in your system when you don't allow it to be released. Let's talk about grief, for example. I think that's one that we can all understand, right, as a concept. Something happens, you lose somebody that you deeply care about, and you now have the emotion or energy of grief, and it's in your body. If you've gone through grief, you know that you can it's like physical. You feel it, it's deep and it's painful. Now you can cry and sob and yell and all of the things and let that energy out and you process it. And so you move through it and you heal it. That's ideal. Or, and I think we have all either done this or know somebody that's done this, we don't want to deal with that grief. We don't want to deal with that energy. We don't want to deal with that pain. So we close it and we shove it down. Now we know about that, about like shoving down emotions and how that can happen in this life, how it can end up causing health issues in this life, how it can end up exploding. So yes, it can affect us in this life. But if we don't explode or have it manifest in some way so it gets out, we will carry it with us to the next life. Okay. So now thinking about that, thinking about this energy, this emotion that's stuck with us that we're not processing. If you're in a past life and you die tragically, suddenly, you don't have time to process that energy. You don't have time to release that energy. You don't have time to move through that energy. So you still have it. So then what happens? You come into this life and you still have it in your energy system. And your soul wants to clear this because this is not you. This is not who you are. This is not real to you. This is like a garment you've picked up and you want to put down this garment. Well, you can't just put it down. You have to let it out. So your soul will plan particular situations in this current life for that energy to get re-triggered so that it comes up and you have to deal with it. So hopefully in all of that, one of the things that you understand is that you're dealing with these issues, you're dealing with these struggles and these challenges, not as a punishment. This isn't some I was a bad person in a previous lifetime, so now I need to punish myself or I need to be punished. This is really more about growing and healing and balancing sometimes. So we've gone through some signs on why your issues might be from a past life. I've talked about why these things happen. Now let's talk about what you can do about it, how you can take action starting today about it. Well, as I mentioned, like you could do coaching, right? I do intuitive life coaching. You can check out my website, link down below if you want to work on it with me. You can do traditional therapy. You can do exposure therapy, putting yourself through it. But I'm going to talk about another option that is not as scary, and I think is like an easier way to go about it. And that is past life regressions. So, a recap as to what a past life regression is for those of you who are new, for those of you who are not, just bear with me for a moment. A past life regression is when you go through a hypnosis or a meditation that allows you to access your subconscious mind and your subconscious memories so that you can experience your past lives. You can watch them, you can learn about them, you can understand what it is you were working on. You can do this with past life regression therapist. If you work with a therapist, they'll actually be there with you to help ask the questions and guide you through what that experience is and help you understand and integrate it. Now, some of you don't want to deal with all of that. Some of you don't want to spend the money on a hypnotherapist or a past life regression therapist because, they're not cheap. It does cost money. You can also do guided meditations. Now, I have a guided meditation for past life regression that I'm going to link at the end of this video. You don't have to use mine. There are many on the internet that you can use. You can look at what it focuses on. You can look at the length of time and what you want to go through, but you can use those as a way to help yourself access a past life. You can also just do it yourself. You can guide yourself through it. I do that personally. However, you can't relax as much into it because you're having to drive it. So you can't go quite as deep as you can when you're letting go and listening to somebody else's voice guide you through and you're just following along. So if you're going to do a past life regression, whatever method you choose, what I highly suggest is before you go into that meditation, regression, whatnot, you set an intention about what it is you want to understand or you want to heal. And that way your soul or your subconscious or your guides or whatever you think is the mechanism that's at play here will help to guide you to the lives that will help be the most impactful. Now, here is the amazing thing about past life regressions is the way our lives are regularly set up, we have to go through these whole experiences to re-trigger and let all of this energy through. However, what past life regression work does is it takes you back to the memory where it got stuck in the first place. And then by taking your awareness, your attention, your consciousness, and bringing it back into that memory, it allows you to move that energy then. So you don't have to do it in this life. So I will tell you, I find past lives fascinating. I mean, I've been in this since I was 13 years old. That's when I first read Many Lives, Many Masters, and I've been steeped in reincarnation knowledge. That's why I like this YouTube channel where I get to talk all about reincarnation and everything I've learned from near-death experiences and past lives and life between lives and what children remember from their time before they were born and share it with you all. So I know for myself, I like doing past life regressions because I think it's kind of fun to know who I was in a past life. But I will say, when you're talking about wanting to heal things, when you talk about wanting to resolve things, when you talk about wanting to get unstuck, you want to do more than just view the past life as if it was a movie. You're going to want to integrate what you're learning. You're going to want to look at, okay, that is what happened in that life. What does it mean to this life? Let's look at my current life, my current existence, my current setup, so that I can understand why I'm tackling the things I am in this life by looking at what happened before and then shifting the way you show up in your life and the way you approach your life. So integrating. So that is why I created this. This is a past life regression journal. I wanted to create a way for people to actually use their experience to transform, to actually bring it into their current life. So this is a journal. I'll link to it down below. You can get it on Amazon. The idea is that you'll go to a previous life. You'll experience it. Was I the baker in Germany in 1345 who accidentally burned down the town? What lessons were I working on? Who was in that life that is showing up today? All of the things that you normally hear about in past life regressions. But then what this journal does is it says, okay, well, how does that apply to your life today? How can you show up differently in this life today, knowing what happened in that past life? because you might be like, oh yeah, now that I know that that guy killed me in my past life, makes a lot more sense why we're dealing with what we're dealing with now. And this is how I'm going to show up differently. As you bring that knowledge and awareness into your current life, you're able to really begin to shift, change, and show up differently and process information differently and think differently and grow. That is the name of the game, after all, is to learn and grow and heal. So, if you are curious about your own past lives, I highly recommend a past life regression. Like I said, I have the meditation here that you can do on your own. Grab the journal, it's in the link down below. It pairs with the video, and get started on learning about your past lives, healing them, and transforming your current life in the process. Bye.